Good morning, Enid. It is Thursday, October 15th. Where in the world is October going? Wasn't it just July 4th the other day? I think so. It just goes so quick. We're glad that you're with us. It's just a gorgeous morning, clear sky, 53 cool degrees outside. I'm Steve Kime.
And I'm Pam Ballard.
Pam, good morning.
Yeah, it's great being here.
Thanks for joining us. We've got a great show today. We've got a former Enid resident coming back to talk to us about his life after leaving Enid, and that'll really be good. So, Pam, we are so glad that you're here. How's the United Way campaign going?
The United Way campaign is going great.
You're busy?
Yes. Yeah, I had 58 presentations week before last, so it's busy, but it's all good. All good here in Enid. Enid, it's time to rise and shine.
Thank you, AJ. As you know, we have so many people behind the scenes that help us on Good Morning Enid, and we appreciate Christopher and AJ and Penn, and the list goes on. So, Good Morning Enid, we're glad that you're with us on this mid-October, October 15. My special guest to your left and my right is the Executive Director of United Way of Enid and Garfield County. Is that the full title?
Northwest Oklahoma.
Northwest Oklahoma, okay.
Yeah, 17 counties.
I just knew it was a long title on your business card. We got Pam Ballard with us, and Pam is she's a local figure to you, and she's been around for a number of years, and we appreciate her filling in. Sarah's on vacation, of all places. She went to Canada. She wanted cool weather, so she went to Canada. And then Jamara, who helps us with our interview, she'll be back next week because she's had let's see, illness or something. But anyway, she's been away from her. We miss her, but she'll be back next Thursday. So thanks for filling in today.
No, it's my pleasure.
Tell me about the 58 presentations.
That was a heavy week, but it was great. That's what United Way is about. When I think about fall, I always think about United Way. It's my 24th year to be involved with United Ways across the state. So it's an exciting time. Good time for people to get involved and do a lot of good things. And
I know at the City of Enid, we had some fundraisers this week. We had a punt, pass, and kick event that I participated in the old folks category. Of course, I was the only one in the old folks category.
So you came in first?
I came in first in the 60 and over. I was compared to all these young police officers and all these firemen. It just didn't seem fair to me, but anyway, it was all to raise money for the United Way. Yesterday, we had gift baskets that different departments brought in, and so the city's doing its part. So anyway, it's always a fun time of year. Speaking of fun time of year and fall and cooler weather, when is the first freeze?
The first freeze.
Not soon enough for some folks with allergies.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Probably around Thanksgiving, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, or really, if you see on the graphic that Penn's provided for us, it's really around November 1.
Oh.
The 1st of November.
Very good. I know that we have some cooler temps coming in tomorrow for sure.
Absolutely.
And then Saturday is going to be beautiful, around mid-70s.
Yeah. Oh, there's the 3-day forecast.
Yeah, so the Cherokee Strip Regional Heritage Center, they're going to have Farm Day, and it's going to be perfect weather for them. They're going to be doing like butter churning and caramel apples.
Sign me up for
pie auction. It starts at 11 o'clock.
Sign me up.
Starts at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Boy, that's calling my name.
So they're going to have perfect weather. And for any of the Sooner fans who are going to be going to Manhattan, we're going to be a little cooler there, 65 degrees.
I'm a very conditional OU football fan after last Saturday. That's terrible.
Can't be a fair weather fan.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, good times ahead.
We got to move on. I'm seeing a therapist on the OU Texas loss the way it is, and they said, do not bring that memory back. So Pam, just,
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about Saturday.
Okay, all right.
Saturday, good weather, good football. OSU's off for the week.
Let's move on. We need to talk polycart, because this was one bit of news, and this may be news
Much
to you.
more important than football,
Yeah.
I suppose.
But a lot of folks are really pleased that the green polycarts are going to hang around during the winter months because, you know, tree limbs fall and just different things. You try to clean up the yard around Thanksgiving and Christmas time and stuff like that. So as you can see on the screen, the City of Enid has announced that the polycart for, again, your yard waste will continue throughout the year. So
but do not put your trash in with the green polycart because it will not be picked up if you do that.
Good morning, Enid. It is Thursday, October 15. Just a gorgeous 53 degrees out. One of those sit on your patios and drink a cup of coffee. High today is going to be 90 before, as Pam says, it's going to turn to the 70s tomorrow.
Another record-breaking day.
Yeah. It's 7:35, and what's next for us?
Well, I think we need to talk to Derrick and see what news we had overnight.
Mr. Bowtie himself.
Yes, check out that Enid bow tie.
Take a good look at this.
Good morning, Enid. A fire was reported in Oklahoma City at Firestone Tire Shop last night. The fire was extinguished in about 15 minutes. No one was injured. And 2 more Oklahoma City area chefs lend talents in an ongoing effort to aid Westtown Day Shelter. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority and the City of Jinx will partner in an $18 million roads project to facilitate access to a proposed new outlet mall. And the U.S. Department of Homeland Security has granted the state of Oklahoma another 1-year extension for implementation of the Real ID Act. The extension runs through October 10th, 2016. Saturday, OU will play Kansas State in Kansas at 2:30 p.m. It will air on ABC. And last but not least, I would like to give a shout out to Don Matthew of Don Matthew Boutique in Delaware for handcrafting this bow tie. And that's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Steve and Pam.
I think that is the very, well, I know it is the very first Enid bow tie that I've seen.
It's definitely the first Enid bow tie I've seen, and Derrick, you're wearing it well.
He's GQing it this morning.
He is.
That's really sharp. Well, Derrick, thanks for sharing, and thank you for, send all your cards, letters, gifts, old coins, silver, gold, send it to me.
Or to United Way.
Yeah, or the United Way.
Yes, especially the coins.
Yeah, especially the coins. Anyway, that's pretty neat. Okay, let's talk about football for a little bit. Not on the collegiate level. Let's keep it on the high school level.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. I think instead of Friday night lights, because of fall break, football games are on Thursday night.
Thursday night lights.
And the Plainsmen travel way over to eastern Oklahoma and play Tahlequah tonight. I think that'll be on television and also radio for you unable to go. See any other games there, Pam, that...
Yes, I think we have Chisholm versus Tonkawa, Wacomas versus Canton, Pioneer versus Ringwood, and Timberlake versus Cherokee, Kremlin, Hillsdale versus Pond Creek Hunter, Garber will be with Watts. That's at home. Covington, Douglas versus Prue, and that's going to be an away game at Prue. Yeah. So support your local teams.
Absolutely, and I think some schools across the state, I've heard, have even done some United Way campaigns through their football games of passing a bucket and stuff like that. So,
boy, our school certainly got behind United Way this year.
Dr. Floyd's done a great job to steer the school system in that direction. Good morning, Enid. It's 7:38. We're glad that you're with us. Temperature went down to 52. It's just really pleasant out today or this morning. High today is going to be around 90, and then fall will return for tomorrow, so that's good.
Yeah, we have about a 40% chance of rain this afternoon, I think, here in Enid.
We got the front that's coming down later this evening, so that's great. Well, we need to find out what's happening for the weekend.
We do. Raquel?
Good morning, Enid, and yes, we have some great events going on this weekend. Pam actually mentioned one of those earlier, and that's Family Farm Day, and it will start at 11 a.m. on Saturday, and this will be at the Turkey Strip Heritage Center, and there will be butter churning, canning, bluegrass music, and this will be free with the regular museum admission. Also on Saturday at noon, there will be the Soggy Bottom Regatta, and this will be at Crossland Park. And this will give you the opportunity to build out boats out of cardboard, duct tape, and other materials. You have until noon today to register if you're still wanting to compete in this, and then you would be able to race your boats against others. And you can register at enidevents.com. So maybe by noon, I can get someone to register with me. So that's what's going on in Enid this weekend. Back to you, Pam and Steve.
When I hear the phrase soggy bottom regatta, whatever, I think the movie, what is it, Brother, Where Art Thou? Oh, Brother, Where Art Thou? Mm-hmm. And that group, the Soggy Bottom Boys or something like that. Anyway, you know, I see probably one film every 5 years, and that happened to be one of them. So,
I saw a great movie last weekend, The Intern. If you haven't seen that, that's a really good movie. Yeah. Yes.
Holding steady at 52 degrees. Good morning, Enid. We're glad that you're with us. And I think it's time for us to move into the interview. And Pam, I had the opportunity a couple weeks ago to visit with Ken Mendenhall. Does that name ring a bell to you?
Yeah, a little bit. I think he was a football player, wasn't he?
Man, we can't get away from this football theme. He was a football player. He was a graduate of Enid High School. He played on the the 65 and 66 high school championship team here at Enid, because Enid had 64, 65, and 66. Very impressive state championships. Ken went on to play football for the University of Oklahoma in the late 60s, and then he went and played for the Baltimore Colts for 10 years. And he had the longest record for the Colts of starting until Peyton Manning.
Oh my goodness.
That record lasted almost 30 years. Well, anyway, he came back to Enid to talk about what he'd been doing, and so Ken Mendenhall was just very gracious with his time. He came to the ETN studios to talk about life before, during, and after football and the work that he's involved in now. And so, good morning, Enid. I appreciate you joining us as we hear just a little bit of this interview with Ken Mendenhall. Tell us about your Enid connection. I know that you were part of the state high school championship football teams back in the 60s, but how did you end up in Enid?
Well, I grew up in Pawhuska, Oklahoma, and my father became a banker at the Bank of Crinoline, just north of town, bought controlling interest of that bank, and knew that all of us, 4 boys, were interested in sports, and that town, I don't think, had football at the time, so he knew that would be important to me and my brothers as well. So that's the reason we moved from probably a 1,000-acre ranch farm to an acre and a third out on Dana Drive. So it was quite a transition. That was before my sophomore year in high school. So my first year in Enid was that sophomore year at Enid High School. So it was a big change, big switch, and of course, I love football, and it was a magical place during that period of time. Who could have known the type of teams we would have? Although they had good football, they weren't having state championship teams, and so there was that run in there that was terrific.
And that was 3 years in a row, right?
It was 3 years in a row. I was a part of 2 years, my junior year. In fact, my sophomore year, I didn't make the varsity. It was really disappointing to me because, to be on the B team, we had a B team schedule, but no sophomore out of my class made the varsity. And then the next year, myself and Kurt France were the only 2 juniors that started on that first state championship team. And we won it again the next year with only 2 returning starters. So we were deep. We had over 100 guys out for football. And so I didn't make the varsity my first year, but the next year was worth it.
Well, that's a great success story, and I doubt if too many individuals know that Ken Mendenhall didn't even make the team that first year.
Yeah.
So when you think of Enid, Oklahoma, Ken, what comes to mind besides high school football, and is there anything else that comes to mind?
Well, it was a great place, a great environment to grow up. Those 3 years that I was in high school, and certainly for my brothers, and The most important thing about Enid was that I met Merlane Fitzgerald, my wife, and we were married. So football and
You got to mention that.
football and Merlane Fitzgerald were the two most important things about Enid for me, and lots of friends, and just a wonderful experience.
Well, one of the key reasons I wanted to visit with you today is learn more about Ken Mendenhall and what you're involved in today and what you've been involved in for a number of years. Yeah. And I know that you got plugged into Search Ministries. Did I say it right?
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
Search Ministries.
Sure.
Now, besides doing a little research on you, I know very little about Search Ministry. So for our viewing audience, Ken, tell us how you got steered that direction and what Search Ministry is all about, if you would.
Well, it all started my rookie year in the NFL with the Colts. The four-time All-Pro offensive tackle got up, Bob Vogel got up at one of the first meetings that
And he was the guy leading the Bible study.
He was the guy
right?
leading
okay.
the Bible study, and so
Right.
when the final roster was set, he got up and said, this team has always had a strong spiritual basis.
Interesting.
And with guys like Don Shinnick, Raymond Berry, and of course he himself was a part of that. And he said, we're going to start our team Bible study next week. And all of you new guys are certainly invited to come to that. My wife found out about it, insisted on going, so I reluctantly began to participate. But what I saw was these teammates, including Bob Vogel, living a distinctively different life than anything I'd imagined in football or in the NFL. And that first season, throughout that first season, as Bob Vogel took us through the book of Romans, teaching the book of Romans to the group, and wives were included, it was one night a week, I became a follower of Christ. I had attended church most of my life. My mother insisted that we go to church. And so we did Sunday school and church, but
I
I'd
had
never.
one of those, moms.
Yeah. Our rule at our house was that if you're too sick to go to Sunday school and church, you're too sick to come out of your room. So we buckled down and went.
Before.
Yeah, we buckled down and went. Yeah. But I never understood the message, the clarity of the message, and embracing it. So my world was turned upside down that first year in the NFL, and understanding who Christ was, what He had done for me, and how my life could be changed, and it was, and it's never been the same. It's never been the same since. In 1980, I retired from. That was my last season in the NFL. We came back to Enid. I worked with my brothers in the oil business for 7 years. Until in 1987, the guy who had later led our Bible study, Larry Moody, who's still the president of Search Ministries, began to talk to me about becoming involved, and said that it would necessitate a move to Oklahoma City. We contemplated, prayed about that, but in 1987, 29 years ago, we moved to Oklahoma City and began the ministry there, and it's been a great time, great ride for us.
So specifically, Search Ministry does what?
Search Ministries is an organization, a ministry that is committed to evangelism, spreading the news about Christ. But the other side of that is apologetics, giving good reasons to believe. Tomorrow morning at my church, there's a Friday morning men's group, 50 guys. I'm going to take them through Larry Moody's book, I'm Glad You Asked. It starts with objections that people have to Christianity. Does God exist? Are miracles possible? Is belief in God just a psychological crutch? Is the Bible reliable? Why did the innocent suffer? Are miracles possible? We're going to go through 12 questions over that next period of time and walk through the explanations from a biblical perspective of why those things are relevant and why they are true. So it's giving good reasons to believe in Christianity, not just, you need to believe this because I do or because somebody said it's true. Here are the evidences that are there.
I know that you have the opportunity to speak quite often. If somebody's watching our show today and they said, Ken Mendenhall. That's an interesting story. I'd like to hear more about that, or even about the ministry work that you're involved in.
Yeah.
How do they reach you, Ken? What's the best way to do that?
Steve, I just Google.
Okay.
You know, I mean, that's always the easiest, and you know.
And you can trust
search,
everything that you see on Google.
Yeah,
You trust
yeah.
it all. It's
and that's has my contact
Okay.
information with search and phone numbers and emails, addresses.
And what is a good phone number that you could share with us so that we have it on tape?
My office phone number in Oklahoma City is, of course, 405-232-1650, and that's our office in at 4th and Broadway in Oklahoma City.
Okay. Well, Ken, I am out of all of my official questions for you. You don't get to come back to Enid that much, but you have an Enid audience right now watching you. Is there anything that you'd like to share in closing with maybe family, friends that haven't seen you or heard from you for a while, and maybe they didn't come to the football reunion game the other night, but I wanted to give you this opportunity just to speak your heart to the Enid folks.
Well, Enid is a very dear place to me in a lot of different ways, and certainly the people are at the heart of that. The people that we know here, the people that we were involved in, both in church and in other environments, and then our history all the way back. Of course, my wife grew up as a native, and so it's a rich place for us that we enjoyed, and it was a fabulous ride, and I'm just grateful to have been here during those high school years, and subsequent to that, we also lived in Enid till 1987 when we moved to Edmond, actually, to begin the work of search there. But Enid has a fond place in my heart, and it was a rich experience.
And I know people that are watching today, they have fond memories as well of Mendenhalls and maybe your involvement in school and really what you've done with your personal and professional life. I'm sure there's people who say, I knew he would turn out to be a good old boy or something like that.
Or just the opposite, yeah.
Boy, what a surprise. I didn't think he would ever make it, but look how he ended up.
Right.
Ken, thank you so much.
Thanks, Steve.
Blessings
Thanks for
to
having
you.
me.
I appreciate you. I know you have a hectic schedule there in the city, and thank you for coming to Enid today to be with us. Mr. Ken Mendenhall, what a treat for me, and again, as a kid growing up in Oklahoma and Oklahoma football, and we just got to kind of relive some of the games that he played in, and he's sharing off camera some of these stories. I remember watching them on television, the Nebraska games and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's a real treat for me for a hometown boy to come home. So Ken Mendenhall, we appreciate Ken. The entire interview, ladies and gentlemen, will be at 8 o'clock this morning. So hang around for the next 8 minutes, and we'll show the entire 30-minute interview that I had with Ken Mendenhall.
Very nice.
Pam, if you have a vacation picture, did you take a vacation this year? I haven't really gone anywhere?
I really haven't. I haven't, but I have one planned for next year.
Okay.
So already booked.
Well, we encourage people, if you have a vacation picture or you've got a suggestion for a show, how can they reach us, Pam?
Ask Steve at enid.org. How about city issues? Can they ask you about that?
Oh, yeah. I won't necessarily
I think
answer it.
I have my
but,
phone right here. There's some lane striping issues I'd like to know about.
Yeah,
so.
I can be standing in line at a Subway restaurant getting a sandwich or something, and somebody comes up to me and says, Steve, is there any chance you get that pothole fixed for me? So
Ask Steve at enid.org. All city-related issues, suggestions for the program, pictures.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough, Pam. That's
Ask
enough.
Steve at enid.org.
Okay, we got that part. Okay, it's 7:53. Good morning, Enid. I'm glad that you're with us. Holding steady at 52 degrees. Again, at high today is 90 degrees. It feels like it's 90 degrees in here. I'm going to have to talk to AJ.
It's only
about
because
that.
there's some pressure on him about those potholes in the city street striping.
We've got to go to the bow tie guy. So it's time for the Oklahoma Minute once again with Derrick.
All right. The U.S. Department of Homeland Security has granted the state of Oklahoma another one-year extension for implementation of the Real ID Act. The extension runs through October 10, 2016. The Oklahoma Turnpike Authority and the city of Jinx will partner on an $18 million project to facilitate access to a proposed new outlet mall. A fire reported last night at the Oklahoma City Firestone North was put out in about 15 minutes and no one was injured. 2 more Oklahoma City area chefs lend talents in ongoing effort to aid West Town Day Shelter. And Saturday, OU will play Kansas State in Kansas at 2:30, and it will air on ABC. That's the Oklahoma Minute. Back to you, Steve and Pam.
Okay, very good. I failed to mention that we have a department head video we want to share really quick with you. This is Kristen Martin, our new executive assistant at the City of Enid.
Hello, my name is Kristen Martin, and I serve as the Executive Assistant to the Office of the City Manager. I manage the City Manager's schedule and make travel arrangements for City Commission and staff. In addition, I prepare and distribute City of Enid Council and various committee agendas and coordinate meetings for various departments. As Executive Assistant, I assist the Mayor in planning and organizing for receptions and special events. If I can be of service to you, please contact me at the number provided on our website. Thank you.
And now we'll go over to Raquel to get an update on our hometown events for this weekend.
Good morning, Enid again. And just a reminder, we do have Family Farm Day at the Turkey Strip Heritage Center, and this will be beginning at 11 and going on until 3. And we have the Soggy Bottom Regatta, and this is at Crossland Park, and this will begin Saturday at noon, and you have until today at noon to register if you'd like to compete in this event. If you'd like more information on these events, you can go to visitenid.org. Back to you, Steve and Pam.
Raquel, thank you very much. We'd like for you to watch this video about Adopt a Pet, and we'll be back right after this.
Are you wanting to bring home a new family member, but you don't know where to look? There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Come by the Enid Animal Shelter or visit our Facebook page. Adopt.
Good morning, Enid. Again, the number is 249-4910 if you want to help out to adopt a pet, and I appreciate Penn Klein putting that promo together for us. Okay, Miss United Way, with all those 58 presentations, if someone is watching the program this morning and maybe they don't have a corporate campaign going on, how do they reach you, and what can you do to help?
Yes, our office number is 580-237-0821. I can also be reached by email at pballard@unitedwayenid.org. There's so many ways to get involved. We're launching a new mentoring program in conjunction with the schools called Coach a Kid Enid, where you can give 30 minutes to an hour each week and really change the life of a young person. So a multitude of ways to get involved. Our chili cook-off is coming up on October 30th. And that is great. You can have lunch with 700 of your closest friends.
I'll be there.
You will be there.
Food involved, I will be there.
Yes, we have 35 chili vendors at the Enid Event Center, so we'd love to see you there.
Okay, we have to call it quits. Fastest 30 minutes, isn't it?
It is,
It goes, it's about like 12 minutes long. Thank you for being with us. Pam, thank you for being with
Pleasure.
us. Good morning, Enid. Have a great day, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.